Today we're uncovering the hidden truths about foundational Black Americans, the real builders of America. These are the Black people whose hands shaped this land, not as foreigners brought from Africa, but as the original inhabitants of the Americas. Their legacy has been erased, their contributions ignored, and their identity rewritten, but not anymore. Let's start with the transatlantic slave narrative. We've been told millions of Africans were crammed into boats and survived a grueling 90-day journey across the Atlantic to become slaves in America. But does that really make sense? How could millions of people survive such conditions with limited food, water, and hygiene in cramped spaces? The reality is over 90% of them would have perished. To transport millions of people this way would have taken thousands of years. The math doesn't add up, and the story begins to fall apart when you examine it critically. The truth is, many Black people were already here, thriving on this land for thousands of years before Columbus ever set sail. The structures and civilizations in America are far too ancient to have been built by anyone else. Black people were the original inhabitants of the Americas. Science confirms that Black people are the oldest humans on Earth. Black DNA is found in everyone, but the reverse isn't true. This means Black people populated the world, spreading knowledge, culture, and civilization to every corner of the globe. There wasn't a place on Earth where Black people didn't exist. They are the ancestors of humanity itself, and their contributions to science, art, and architecture laid the foundation for all civilizations. Here in America, the government has actively erased this history. They've built over ancient Black towns and even flooded some areas to hide the evidence. This is part of a larger effort to disconnect Black Americans from their true heritage and label them as foreigners on their own land. The United States government has been an enemy to Black people since its inception. From making it legal to kill Black people for no reason to brainwashing other races into hating them, the system has always worked against us. Let's be clear, Black people are not dropping chemtrails in the air causing cancer or polluting the oceans with nuclear waste. Those atrocities aren't committed by us, yet we're painted as the problem while the real culprits go unnoticed. And while Black people have fought for justice and human rights, those benefits have often been exploited by others. Foreigners come to America and enjoy freedoms that Black leaders fought and died for, only to turn their backs on the very community that paved the way for them. Foundational Black Americans are not African immigrants. They are the descendants of the original people of this land. These Black people were here thousands of years before Columbus. They built civilizations and created what we now call America. The so-called Native Americans or Indians are often misunderstood. Many of them are descendants of Black people who were already here, mixed with a small number of Africans who traveled across the Atlantic long before Columbus. The terms Negro, Black, and now African American are labels given by foreigners to strip us of our true identity. Our ancestors' contributions to this country are immeasurable. They've built its infrastructure, fought its wars, and defined its culture. Yet their stories remain buried and their legacy is falsely attributed to others. It's time to reclaim our history. Foundational Black Americans are the builders of this nation, the original inhabitants of this land, and the architects of humanity's greatest achievements. The government may try to erase us, but our legacy is undeniable. It's time for us to stand tall, tell our stories, and honor the ancestors who made everything we see today possible. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the movement for truth and justice.